Assassin's Creed Shadows. Woo! When you hear that name these days, it often comes behind a lot of controversy, a lot of bad takes, and just a lot of worry and doubt if this game is going to be good. Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises that has a long storied history. Fans love this game, but some feel that it has fell off a little bit and gotten away from what the formula is, or just not doing things right or evolving the series the way they want it to be evolved. But I have been able to play Assassin's Creed Shadows for a while. If you missed that, I did get to play this game a couple months back early too, and it gave me hope that this game was gonna be good. So with all the negativity going on, what does Shadows have for us? Will this game be a disappointment? Will it actually live up to the expectation and be one of the next best games? Will it save Ubisoft? Will it be woke and DEI, blah, 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 blah? Find out next time on Blue Satire Reviews. What's good, everybody? It's Blue Satire, and as you just heard what this video is about, we are reviewing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Thanks to Ubisoft, I got to play Assassin's Creed Shadows early, and I'm here to let you know how I felt about it, how it plays, what I like and what I don't like. And I think you're going to be in for a surprise, as if you know me, you know how I feel about Ubisoft games. But this is a review for folks that like to play games for what they are, people that don't keep up with all the BS talk that's going on. This is for folks who want to see if the game is actually fun. So quick disclaimer, if you're going to comment in the chat about it being woke and DEI slop and blah, 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 this and that, and you ain't touched the game or played it or know anything about it, I'm probably not going to reply to you because you're just being hateful. But if you got some real valid criticisms to this, you got some real questions, please feel free to comment and let me know how you feel about it. And I'm going to try to keep it as honest as I can for me, because this is just a review. It's just my opinion, how I feel about the game. But here are my reasons why you should play this game and what I think about Assassin's Creed Shadows, because guess what? Let's get into the video. So first, let me say that there won't be any spoilers in this video. I want y'all to be able to explore this game like I did and find these surprises that I did as well. And I think it'll go for a better experience if you do choose to play this game. So for those who don't know what Assassin's Creed Shadows is, if you've been under a rock, this is a story about the intertwined stories of Naoi, an adept shinobi assassin from the Iga province, and Yasuke, a powerful African samurai who's a historical legend. A lot of people have heard of him. It's against the backdrop of the late Sengoku period. If you're a Japanese history lord, you know what was going on around that time. And you play as this duo to discover their common destiny as they usher in a new era for Japan. And when we talk about the era that we're playing in, let's talk about the world and where it's set in and does it hold up? And in my opinion, I think Japan was a great place to have this game. I know a lot of us have been waiting on it. A lot of people said that we got Ghost of Tsushima, so we don't need it anymore. But in my opinion, I think Ubisoft did a great job at showcasing how beautiful this period could look. And the thing with Japan is the areas, the buildings, the architecture, the forest, the art, the sounds, all of that works so well in this game. One thing Ubisoft and an Assassin's Creed game have been doing a lot lately is making an open world game. I think people want a more compact Assassin's Creed, but I think that it is done some gestures here when it comes to the world. Like, I enjoy exploring and getting to the next prefecture, getting to the next castle to see what's different about the city. Now, I will say some may look a little bit the same, but when I say this game looks good and the world looks good, the way people interact with things, people playing flutes, people working, people talking, it does look like a lively place. And that's the thing about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed. I think they always done that right, is that the world does feel like it's a living world that you're playing in. From ports to caves to the forest, dense forest, to castle towns, to barren lands, burnt land, towers, shrines, all of it looks cool. And a lot of the environments are reactive. And one thing I like about it, I think that's new to the Assassin's Creed series, is this weather and the changes of seasons. And with the changes of seasons, like, people actually act different. Enemies act different when you're out and about. If it might be snowing and there might be less guards because it's cold outside. But again, the thing that the seasons and the weather does for this game is just makes the game look good. And I'm playing on PS5. I can only imagine how this game will look for a PC with high specs. Now, when you talk about this world, you want to know about if exploration is worth it. And in this game, there's a lot of things that you're rewarded with when you do explore. There are a lot of different outfits, a lot of gear, a lot of weapons that you can find just by looking for things. Different shrines. Some of the shrines have power-ups. Like there's a lot of things you can see, but I'll be honest, if you're not sticking to the path and you try to go off into like a dense forest area, especially on horseback, it's gonna be hard to get out of that. It might even tweak the game a little bit. So I don't advise going too far into the forest. You can get away, but it ain't as fun as knowing where you're going. I'm just gonna be honest on that part. I usually tend to stick to the trails. I know you're trying to get someone faster, but it's better to just follow a path that you know you can take versus looking deep into some forest or deep into some rocks and like, oh, I'm stuck. Let me go ahead and fast forward. And you won't get stuck, but it'll slow down the gameplay significantly in my opinion. With that being said, I know a lot of people give Ubisoft a lot of flack because they always have this very cluttered HUD system and always telling you things and where to go. And people like to be immersed in the gameplay. They want to be able to find things. And I will say you probably got what you asked for. One of the big things in this game when it comes to exploration and finding your next missions is you got to use your scouts. You got to use your scouts to find, they give you clues to look for what you want to look for, and you can do it that way. But sometimes you might be wandering around and getting lost because you're like, oh, I don't know where that's at. And that's what your scouts are for. But that does leave a lot of immersion and less hand holding that people these days tend to complain about. But for me, like it's cool, but sometimes you might get lost. But I do like the system because it does give you another sense of exploration. And they said it's south by the lake, and they usually hang out in the bar at the brewery. But the good thing about that is when you're in focus mode, when you're in eagle mode and you think you're close, there are cues that you can look at that lets you know that you're in the right area, knows that a target is there. So it's not too hard. But another cool thing that they added is a hideout place for you and the people that you'll be fighting and doing your things with in this game. And I actually like this system. It's pretty cool to be able to build your own little estate, have different rooms for different things, getting your spies, getting your scouts, your teammates, making a study or forge, having somebody there that can make your weapons, upgrade your weapons, stables for your horses, and a place to relax and hide when things are going well. And it just adds to a little bit more customization with folks that like things like that. You get a lot of power-ups, you get a lot of benefits from upgrading your hideout, and you definitely should look into it. You can also get like pets from the world. You can pet a dog. Look, if you can pet a dog, pet a cat in the game, that's a W for me. And any animal that you pet or any animal that you find in the game can come back to your hideout as a pet. And that's a cool thing for me. Now, real quick, let's talk about the story. And again, I'm not gonna give any spoilers because me playing this and not having anything to look into or look up to figure out where to go made this game a little bit better for me because I was learning as I went. No spoilers and things like that. So I wanna give y'all that same liberty. But I will say, I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I love the relationship between Nayo and Yasuke, and a lot of people have been talking about why do we have Assassin's Creed where no Japanese person, the main character? Naoya is right there. And truth be told, I think that she is the main character with some Yasuke in there. Yes, he is just as playable as she is, but this really is, in my opinion, it's Naoya's story, and you can see that in the gameplay. But the story has a lot of betrayals, things like that. There are a lot of allegories and allusions to things that you might have already known about in history, which is dope. You see characters that you've heard legends of. You hear about famous warlords and samurais and daimyos and other people in history. You see them in this game, which Assassin's Creed does a lot. They like sprinkling in people from historic times and then show a little bit of that history in there. But again, let's get it correct, because I know a lot of people have been having a problem with this for some reason. All of a sudden, Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, and now everybody doesn't know that this is historical fiction. And they warn you that this game is not historically accurate. And they've been doing that since the first game came out, because, my God, you can fight the Pope. You can summon Final Fantasy summon. So all of a sudden, we talking about historical accuracy. I don't know. But the story is, in my opinion, a great story. It keeps me wrapped in. It's like watching one of those movies or those animes of revenge or trying to be honorous. It's like a samurai flick or a shinobi flick. And I thoroughly enjoyed the story. And what makes the story even better is, dare I say, the side quest. So for all my side quest hoes out there, those folks that see something like, ooh, piece of candy, this might be the game for you, because there are a lot of side missions and I probably ain't finished all of them. But I like the way that they do it, because these side missions aren't just like one-offs. There are some, go get this, go find this. But a lot of these side missions are even more people that you need to interact with, even more people that you might need to assassinate, more groups of people terrorizing the world, and more lore for you to explore. So they're not just side missions for the sake of being side missions. They have more story to them. They build the world up even more, and that's what I like about it. Because who wants to play a game that just got a bunch of fetch side missions that don't add any value? And this game's gonna give you a lot of playtime because these side missions are actually fun, they're actually good and worth scoping out. A lot of people love fighting, a lot of people love assassination missions, and a lot of these things have that. And a lot of people love building their characters up and building more folks and seeing more people. So the story for me shines in this one, and it's been a while since I've really enjoyed Assassin's Creed as a story. And I don't think it's been as bad lately as people make it, because I did enjoy Valhalla and I did enjoy Assassin's Creed Origins, but I think Assassin's Creed Shadow has stepped up the game in the writing in this. A lot of emotional moments, a lot of intelligent writing, a lot of slick stuff, a lot of funny stuff, and it's pretty good. But let's talk about the gameplay, because that's the most important thing when it comes to Assassin's Creed. And for me, it's Assassin's Creed. It plays how I needed to play. And could there be improvements? Yes. But to know how this game plays, and one of the major concerns was, this is Assassin's Creed, but you got Big Yasuke over here. Let's not forget that we have this shinobi. Naoi and Yasuke play totally different. And I'll be honest, I found myself playing with Naoi more because, again, I feel like this is her story, and I like stealth gameplay. And her stealth gameplay is fun, but when it comes to needing a fight and you know it's time to throw down and say, hey, I want to just go in here and whoop butt, Yasuke is amazing when it comes to that. And I love how different their play styles are. You're not supposed to be all shinobi this, climbing stuff and doing all this with Yasuke. He's not built for that. He's a samurai. He's there for the brute force, the whooping butt. And Naoi is there for the stealth mission. She can fight folks too, but again, she's not the best person when it's fighting a bunch of enemies. She has to use her swiftness, her stealth, and her abilities to do that. And they each got their own weapons and weapon specialties that they use. Naoi uses katana, a kurosarigama, and a tanto. And let's talk about what those are. We know what a katana is. That's her swift blade play. That's kind of her balanced attack. Still swift. She holds it like backwards in a cool way. It's swift strikes, but good for parrying and counterattacks. The kusarigama, I know I'm saying that wrong, but it's a good weapon that's good for close range and distance. Got the little ball and chain, but a sickle on the end of it. And it has some good moves and abilities. Tanto and the hidden blade, woo, that's some lightning quick strikes. It's fun, but it's dangerous because you're in there. But it's great for stealth attacks, and it's just fun and very, very acrobatic, using your agility to use those weapons. And then you got Yasuke with the long katana, which is the samurai's main weapon, and Bam is a beast with that. And we know how katana works. But the naginata, I think is real fun. A lot of samurai monks and daishos in this game use this. Has long reach, good for crowd control, and it's also fun. Yasuke also has the kanabo, and that I saw he think he Barry Bonds or somebody the way he be trying to hit a home run on these enemies, being able to break armor, guard stances, and it's just brutal. It's just something about swinging that big thing and doing big damage. It's that big stick do some damage. And of course he also has a bow and arrow, and the tempo is pretty much the blicky out here. And while it's highly lethal, it takes a while. You got to reload it. It's cool. Also, I forgot to mention that Naio also has kunais and smoke bombs and other things that she can use as a shinobi that makes her gameplay fun. Of course, you can upgrade your weapons, get different gear that gives you more abilities to help, like maybe 30 plus damage, receiving health back. And of course, it's cosmetics too, but the good thing about this one is it's kind of like Monster Hunter with layered armor. You can pick something, but wear what you want to wear, and I think that's a good touch. And it wouldn't be an Assassin's Creed game without a skill tree, and I'm not gonna just get too deep into that because you can see it for yourself. But there are a lot of different skills for each weapon they use, plus their class as far as being maybe a shinobi or an assassin, or tools, or using the tanto or the kusarigama, katana, or even Yasuke being a samurai or a bow user. They all have different abilities. A lot of them upgrade your combos, what you can do in battle, giving you special moves that uses adrenaline, which you get back from attacking and blocking and parrying. The combat is fun. Now there are times where it can feel a little wonky, and I think that's always, to me, been a problem with Assassin's Creed is when there's too many people on the screen you're trying to fight. Sometimes that lock doesn't lock where you want it to lock, but it is fun combat. And sometimes fighting in enclosed spaces will get you messed up. I will say also, if you raise the difficulty level up, the CPU will react to you a little bit better and cater to how you play the game. And I do recommend that. All in all, I think the gameplay is solid. I love the way that Naoe moves when she's in stealth mode, flipping from buildings, doing backflips. Her parkour looks real cool. Although sometimes it might not feel as reactive as you want it to feel. Still, they have evolved that gameplay. Now, it's fun and fluid for me. But don't expect Yasuke to play like that. Yasuke plays like, he plays more like you would see somebody in a samurai game. He's big, powerful, but he also can be quick, but he's more focused on fighting and gameplay exploration. Like I said earlier, they both play different. I do feel Naoe is maybe more so the main protagonist, but Yasuke does get his shine. You see that in the objective and the missions. And speaking of that, there's like a objective board that shows you portraits of a bunch of different people, a bunch of different circles and diagrams of the side missions and the people in their relationships and their missions. And I think that's a nice touch. You see who you've killed, who you haven't, who you're trying to look for. That's where your clues and your missions at. And they all have their own stories and missions to do. And I think it was a nice touch to have both of them as characters you can play as. And their story intertwines very well. It's a story of revenge, a story of honor, a story of doing the right thing for your country or being a stranger in your country. And for me, Assassin's Creed Shadow actually is a pretty good game that I enjoyed. I am thoroughly surprised at how good it was. But I do think this is an enjoyable game, and I think it's one that you should give a chance. And even if you want to wait on it for sale, I don't think that'll be a problem, but it's actually a game that I'm enjoying a lot, and the side missions have kept me there. Like, I really did not want to complete the game because the side missions were so good. And that's not saying the main missions aren't good, it's just the side missions felt like a part of the story and I did not want to miss out. If you got any other questions about Assassin's Creed Shadow and you want to know more, let me know in the comment section what you think about this game. Let me know if you're getting the game. I just want to give y'all a brief overview of how I felt about the game, being able to play it, and if it's worth buying. And in my opinion, it is absolutely worth playing. I do think this game is right where it needs to be as far as content, good story, good gameplay. I'll throw this in too. As far as the voice acting goes, I like most of the characters in English. Naoe is hit or miss for me sometimes. Sometimes she's great emotion, but her Japanese voice actor is fire. And the game in Japanese is fire. So I low-key recommend playing it in Japanese, but English is not bad, but it could be better. And that's my last take with that. Assassin's Creed Shadows has done something that I didn't think it was gonna do. And that's making me a believer in Assassin's Creed games again. It makes me want to keep playing the game and do everything in it. And I haven't wanted to do everything in an Assassin's Creed game in a long time because we know they can be a lot. But again, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this game. If you got any more questions about me, anything you want to know about the game, any concerns, let me know. But as far as the story goes, it is pretty good. If folks are worried about pandering, things like that, I haven't seen it. It is a cohesive story for me. The environments are good, the characters are cool, the stories are cool, and the music, it's cool, it's alright. It's alright. But that's all from me. Appreciate y'all for watching the review. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.